G'day everyone and welcome to another RouTube video. In today's video we're going to be covering expanding brackets and specifically the distributive law, which students are introduced in Year 8 and continue to learn about in Year 9 maths. In today's video we're going to cover 3 learning objectives. The first one is to apply the distributive law to expand algebraic expressions. The second one is to simplify algebraic expressions by collecting like terms. And the third one is to expand binomials using a method called FOIL. All right, let's begin by having a look at the distributive law. So the distributive law states that A bracket B plus C equals AB plus AC. Okay, so what does all that mean? So essentially what it means is that everything outside the bracket needs to be evenly distributed to whatever's inside the bracket. Okay, hence the name, the distributive law. Okay, so essentially everything outside the bracket, which in this case is A, needs to be evenly distributed with B and C, the 2 terms that are inside the bracket. Okay, now it's really important before we start that you really need to identify, need to know that between the A and the opening of the bracket, there is a secret multiplication sign just hiding there. Okay, so if there is either a variable or a number, and then the opening of the bracket, we don't write the multiplication sign, but you need to know that there is a multiplication sign between the A and the opening of the bracket. Okay, so let's have a look at these 2 examples here. So simplify the following 3 and then in the bracket t plus 6. Okay, we've got 2 terms inside the bracket and the 3 on the outside. So we need to distribute the 3 evenly to the t and to the positive 6 through multiplication. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to distribute 3 with the first term, so it's going to be 3 multiplied by t, okay, which is going to give us just 3t, and then we need to distribute the 3 with the next term inside the bracket, which I'll do in red, which is 3 times. Now get in the habit of writing it as a positive or a negative, because when we get to the negative values, it's easy to make errors with the positives and the negatives. Okay, so really get in the habit of writing positive 6 minus 2 negative, whatever the values are. Okay, and now we can just bring down both of our answers. So the final answer should be 3t plus 18, and there's our first one simplified. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, the only difference with this one is it's now a subtraction or a negative sign. Okay, so here we have 2 and then in brackets x minus 6. So the first one, the 2, so it's going to be 2 times x, which is going to be 2x. Okay, and then the next one, which we'll do in a different color again, 2 times, now it's really important, remember that's a negative 6. Okay, so 2 times negative 6. Quite often people just do 2 times 6 and they make it 12. Okay, but this is going to be negative 12. Okay, and then once again, we can take down our answer to give us an answer of 2x minus 12. Okay, but if you just do 2 times 6, you then get positive 12, and therefore your answer would be 2x plus 12, which is incorrect in this specific example. So make sure you honor the sign before the second term or between the 2 terms. Okay, let's have some more practice with the distributive law. Now let's add some coefficients, okay, which are the whole numbers in front of the variables. Okay, so here we've got negative 3r outside the bracket and then 2y plus w inside the bracket. So the first thing we're going to do is negative 3r multiplied by 2y. We're going to multiply the coefficients first, so negative 3 times 2 should be negative 6, and then the y just stays as it is. Okay, we can't join those together. Okay, now the next thing we need to do, and again I'll do it in a different color, is we need to multiply whatever's outside the bracket to the next term. So now we've got negative 3r multiplied by w. Now that just joins together as negative 3rw. Now get in the habit of writing the variables always in alphabetical order. Okay, and then we have our answer as negative 6ry minus 3rw. Now they're not like terms, which we'll get to later in this video, so we can't simplify that anymore. Moving on to the second one, we've now got 2s, and then in the bracket 6x minus m. So 2s multiplied by 6x. Let's do that first. So we've got 2s multiplied by 6x. Again, multiply the coefficients first. So 2 times 6 should give you 12. And then alphabetical order sx. Might just rewrite that one again. X. Okay, now again in red, the term outside with the second term. So now remember there's a negative sign there. So it's going to be 2s, oops, let's go with the red color. So now we've got 2s multiplied by negative m. Okay, so essentially that's just a negative 1m. So it's 2 times negative 1 gives you negative 2, and then m and s just stay as they are. So then again, we just bring down our answer to become 12sx minus 2ms. And again, not like terms, so we cannot simplify anymore. So the process is the same. This time, these two examples, we've just added a coefficient. Okay, now let's have a look at expanding and collecting like terms. So you'll notice this one is a little bit longer. Okay, so we've got simplify the following 4 and then brackets 2y plus 6, and then outside the brackets got positive 3. Okay, let's just hide that positive 3. Let's just pretend it's not there. Okay, let's just do 4 and then in brackets 2y plus 6. Let's just expand that first. Okay, so how we would do that is we would go 4 times 2y first, just like we've done previously. 4 times 2 gives you 8, and then the y is left over. Okay, and then the 4 multiplies with the second term, so then it becomes 4 times positive 6, which is just 4 times 6, which gives you, if you want to write the positive 24. And then now we bring down our next part, and we've now got 8y plus 24. Now we can bring the positive 3 down. We can have positive 3. Okay, now we can't finish there because we haven't collected like terms. Okay, so the like terms are what we call constants. Okay, they're numbers with no variable attached. They are constants. Okay, so 24 and 3 are constants. So therefore we can simplify them and join them both together to give us 8y plus, and then 24 plus 3 gives us 27. And there we are. And let's go with the next one. So we've got negative 6 and then in brackets 6y minus 3 and then minus 11. Let's forget about the minus 11 again, just like we did with the positive 3. So let's expand the bracket as per normal. So negative 6 times 6y, multiply the coefficients, which becomes negative 6 times 6 gives you negative 36, and we've got the y left. Then multiply the negative 6 with the negative 3, make sure that's a negative 3. So we've got negative 6 times negative 3. Now, if you've got a calculator, please feel free to use it. If you're not sure if it's going to be a positive or negative, a negative multiplied by a negative is always going to give you a positive value. So it's going to be positive, and then 6 times 3 gives you 18. So then now again, we've got negative 36y plus 18. And now we can bring down our minus 11 like we did with the positive 3 before. And again, we've got like terms, both constants. Okay, so now we can join those constants together. So we've now got negative 36y, and then we've got 18 minus 11 should be positive 7. And there we have it. We cannot simplify any more. Okay, let's keep moving and have a look at these ones. So we're going to continue on with the like terms, with the expanding and the like terms. Okay, so as we would normally do, now we've got something else on the outside. We've got a variable with a pronumeral. Sorry, we've got a variable with a coefficient. Okay, but nothing changes. Let's forget about the 2t for now. So whatever's outside the bracket, multiply with the first term. So we've got 3 multiplied by negative 4t. Multiply the coefficients, should give you negative 12 and t. Okay, then we'll change color again, and then multiply 3 times negative 5. Make sure you worry about the negative, you identify that's a negative. So 3 times negative 5 should give us, oops, it should be should be negative 15. Positive times a negative will always give you a negative. And then we bring our answer down. So here we've got negative 12t minus 15, and then we can bring down the positive 2t from the start of the question. And now we should be able to identify, hopefully, that we've got a like term and a like term. So we've then got negative 12t plus 2t. So essentially, you've got negative 12 of them, and then you're going to add 2. So negative 12 plus 2, again, use your calculator if you need to, should give you negative 10t. And then we've just got our minus 15 that can't join because it's not a like term. And the second one on the right side, same process. Again, let's just leave the negative 8c on its own for now. So we've got negative 9 times 3c. Multiply the coefficients. Negative 9 times 3 is 27. And negative times a positive gives you a negative. And we've got the c. Then we multiply the negative 9 again with the negative 7. I'm going to keep stressing it because it's often an error that occurs. Multiply by, so negative 9 multiplied by negative 7. Negative times a negative gives you a positive, and therefore 9 times 7 hopefully is 63, which it is, and it's a positive. So now same process as above, negative 27c plus 63 minus 8c from the question. Okay, now again we've got like terms, we've got c's, we've got negatives and negatives. Okay, so now we had negative 27c and we're going to subtract 8 more. Okay, so you're going to go away from 0. So negative 27 minus 8 should be negative 35. Oh, I might rewrite that. Negative 35c. And we've still got our constant, which is 63, not 65, 63. We can't simplify anymore because they are not like terms. All right, now let's ramp it up and expand 2 brackets in the same question. So same process, you're just doing this sort of the same thing twice in the one question. Okay, so now we've got 6, and then in the brackets, x plus 3y plus 5, and then x minus 2y in the brackets. Okay, so there's plenty of stuff going on here. We just need to do step by step. Okay, so let's expand the first bracket first. So we've got 6 times x should give us 6x. Now I'll keep one color for the first bracket and then another color for the second bracket. Okay, so then we've got 6 multiplied by positive 3y equals 18y. Okay, multiply coefficients and then the y's left over. Now we'll do the second bracket in red. So now we've got 5 multiplied by the first term, which is x, should become 5x. And then now 5 multiplied by negative 2y should be negative 10y. And then now we can bring down everything that we have, and you see there's multiple x's and y's. Okay, so we have to do something in a second. So we've now got 6x plus, it should be an addition, so plus 18y plus another addition plus 5x minus 10y. Now let's simplify by collecting like terms. So we've got 6x plus 5x. So 6x plus 5x gives you 11x. And let's go with orange. And then we've got 18y minus 10y should give you positive 8y. And we can't simplify, we can't join them together because one's got a variable of x and one has a variable of y. Let's move over to the second one. So same process again, I'll use the same colors so we're all familiar with how we are going about it. So 4x multiplied by y. So we've got 4x multiplied by y should give us just 4xy. And then 4x multiplied by multiplied by negative 2. Almost fell for my own trick. So 4x multiplied by negative 2. Multiply the coefficients. 4 times negative 2. Negative times a positive will always give you a negative. And then we've got the x left over. Next one. We've now got negative y times x. Negative y times x just equals negative x y. Remember, you're just flipping it because you're writing it in alphabetical order. And the next one is negative y multiplied by positive 3. Then we've got a negative times a positive will give us a negative. And then we've got 3y. And then now we can bring them all down and let's see, hopefully we've got some like terms so we can keep simplifying because it looks quite complex for now. So we've got 4xy minus 8x minus xy minus 3y. All right, so there's heaps of stuff going on here. Hopefully you can identify that xy, there's 4xy and negative xy. That just means there's negative 1xy. Now, this one here that I'll circle in yellow, hopefully we can see yellow, yep, that doesn't have any like terms. Even though there's a y and xy are not like terms. Okay, so only the green that I've underlined are like terms. So if we have 4xy and then we subtract 1xy, we should be left with 3xy. And then we've still got our negative 8x and we've still got our negative 3y. Now we can't do anything more because we've got 1xy and then another x and then a y on its own. Okay, so they're not like terms and I can't simplify any more than that. All right, the final thing we're doing for this video is to expand binomials using the FOIL method. Bi meaning two. Okay, so we've got two sets of brackets and we're going to be multiplying them. Okay, that's what a binomial is. And we're using the FOIL method, which I've got laid out on the left-hand side. Okay, I'm not going to go through it explicitly now, but as we go through the question, I'm going to run through it. Okay, so the FOIL method is as follows. We're going to have first, outer, inner, last. That's where you get the little FOIL acronym or name. Okay, so expand the following binomial. We've got 3x plus 3 and then 2x plus 2 in brackets. Now, let's start with the f in FOIL. So first, multiply the first two terms in each bracket. Okay, so the first term in this bracket is 3x and the first term in that one is 2x. Okay, so we're going to multiply those. So 3x multiplied by 2x. Okay, hopefully you can identify that that's 6x to the power of 2. So multiply the coefficients, so 3 times 2 is 6, and then x times x gives you x squared. Now x plus x gives you 2x. Okay, so it's really important to know the difference between x plus x and x times x. Okay, so we've done f. The next one, the outer. Okay, so multiply the two outer terms. So the outer terms are the two ones on the outside. Okay, so now we've got 3x multiplied by positive 2. So now we should have 3 times 2, which is 6, and we've got x. Okay, it's important 6x squared and 6x are not like terms. Okay, hopefully you can identify that as well. So once we've done the outer, now we go to the inner. Okay, so now we've got the two inner terms. So now we've got positive 3 multiplied by 2x. Okay, well, we've pretty much done that in the previous one. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6 and then the x is just left over. Okay, and then now we proceed to the last step, which is the L, and then we multiply the two last terms of each bracket. So we've now got positive 3, that should be a 3, multiplied by positive 2, which is just 3 times 2, which gives you a constant of 6. Now let's bring down all our answers. So now we've got 6x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 6. All right, so plenty of 6's. Now hopefully you'll identify there's only one set of like terms. It's 6x and 6x. Okay, 6x and 6x squared are not like terms. Okay, because one's an x and one's an x squared. Okay, so now we've got 6x squared. We can't do anything with that, but then we can bring together the 6x and 6x. Well, if I had 6x's and I'm going to add 6 to them, I've now got 12x. And then I've got my constant at the end, which is 6, and I can't do anything else with that. I can't merge them or join them together or simplify anymore because I don't have any like terms left. So there's expanding binomials using the FOIL method. Thanks again for watching another RouTube video. Once again, hopefully you learned a thing or two about the distributive law and expanding brackets and binomials. And if you liked what you saw, please like the video, and as always, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. See you next video.